Hello to anyone who is listening. Welcome to my side project that I'm probably gonna call Gen Convos. Well, actually, I called it that already. Um, I have my first guest, my friend from Astoria, Chris.
Hi
Chris, say
there.
hi.
How's it going?
There we go. I interrupted you. Might be breaking the rules a little bit. I said I wanted to meet strangers and get to know them, but and my first guest is a friend that I've known for how long now? Maybe a year.
2 years.
2 years. That's been a long time. Met you through our mutual friend Luke.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are teachers at where again?
In Queens.
In Queens. That's right. That's right. Teaching high school students, correct?
That's right.
Sounds like a hassle.
It's a great hassle.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my 10th year.
All right, that sounds like a nightmare. All right. uh, Currently in Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night. Second year Gen Con, both
That's
of
right.
us, for
Yep.
both of us. We went together last year for our first time, and here we are again. Um, Four of us last year, now it's just two of us. The other two people are the worst. So here we are, and that's a fidget spinner. We got some free ones today, free swag. Nothing like free swag at a convention center.
Especially the hip fidget spinners that all the kids are spinning nowadays.
Let me share this with you real quick. I can tell he doesn't use it a lot. He slapped that out of his hand just trying to play it like 3 times at the convention center. It was kind of embarrassing.
Hashtag just a cool kid.
Got to practice it. Here we are again, Indianapolis. We're at our Airbnb. Shout outs to Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's a really nice house.
Pretty swank.
Really nice, really nice. 30-minute walk from the convention center.
Somewhat convenient, too.
Somewhat convenient. It's not that bad. Safe route. Don't worry. We're gonna be back late every night until every night. But yeah, here we are. Wednesday night, we came in thinking we were just gonna hang out the house and get situated and then do our thing from Thursday on. But what a surprise, huh?
Turns out every night at Gen Con is a party.
Yeah, someone shared that with us. Shout out to Sahara.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling us 7 years, she said, doing this and just sharing with us how all the events, the Wednesday night events, came to be. Very interesting. Met some really cool people today. Talked a lot about games. Played a new game today. That was rad. What was it called again?
Mystic Veil.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. It's a deck builder, but you get to create your own cards by using these funky little plastic sleeves. So it's a fresh take on an old genre.
That was a pretty exciting time. Met 2 new people there too, and we got crushed.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You gotta be able to enjoy losing if you like board games.
So
And,
never
we
playing
did.
that game again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, no, losing is bad.
Worst game ever. We drank a little bit, guys, so if it sounds incoherent, it's gonna be incoherent. Just like I said in episode 1, just bear with us.
I think it sounds great.
Oh, all right. So, where do we go from here? Let's see. What do you think of day 1 so far? Well, day 0, to be honest.
Yeah, day 0 was good. It's good to see the Gen Con staff is doing such an awesome job with like line management and crowd management. We got our badges in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All the food trucks are already out there. Everyone was super friendly. Yeah, events were great, and even the random people we met were super cool.
Yeah, it's yeah, everybody has been really friendly so far. It's just everyone is quick to open up about themselves, and it first starts off with the same old question. It's just like, oh, what kind of games are you into? We give our answers, and then it just spawns off from there. And then a guy in the plane was coming to Gen Con and I talked to him for the entire flight. Super cool dude. Hopefully I get him on this show. But yeah, so far we've been meeting great people, and it's just day 0. So day 1, I mean, just wait till Saturday.
Sure.
All right, so second year in a row. Last year you participated in a national tournament, regional tournament.
It's a North American tournament.
North American tournament for this little game called Netrunner.
That's right.
I've only ever heard of it through a coworker. Don't know much about it. So why don't you share a little bit about it? And I'm saying a little bit because he's really, really into it.
I could go on for hours. It's a collectible card game made by Richard Garfield, the guy who made Magic originally.
Oh.
And now it's what's called a living card game, which means I don't spend thousands of dollars on booster packs and throw away half the cards. Every month or two,
Oh, really?
a pack of cards comes out, and those are all of the new cards. So everyone has a complete play set, theoretically,
Huh.
for every tournament.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like Magic where we have to spend tons and tons of money on
No,
it.
sir. So it's pretty affordable for someone who likes a card game, and there's still a competitive scene across the country.
I mean,
Um,
you're participating in a tournament, which,
yeah.
by the way, it's going to be around 6 hours, so I'm not going to see Chris for the entire day.
Yes, we're getting all our FaceTime in today.
Yeah, if he qualifies, which of course I hope he does.
Mm.
He's going to play Saturday, and then if
that
he
would be cool.
qualifies again, he's going to play Sunday. So there goes your Gen Con.
Sure. Oh no, it's only 2 days. It's only
2 days.
Yeah.
I lied.
So
ladies and
it's an asymmetric
Sure.
card game, which means that one person plays one side and the other person plays the other side, and it's an evil mega corporation against a hacker. So the hacker is trying to sneak into the various servers that the corporation has set up, trying to steal their evil agendas. And they do so by installing programs and hardware and connections that allow them to circumvent some of the defense systems that the corporation has set up. And it's a wonderful bluffing game that also involves managing your resources, and deck building is a huge component of it, trying to figure out what is the best deck to make. So it's a nice cross section between Magic and other more like strategic bluffing games.
It's interesting you say hacking a evil corporation. Sounds like it's going to be the not too far, not too distant future
Sure.
in the real world. Looking at you, Google. Looking at
Sure. Yeah. There's a corporation that's a super media conglomerate.
Okay.
So obviously styled after Google, a corporation that uses its knowledge of food and genetic supply to make clones and manipulate people.
Mm-hmm.
And
who would you equate that to?
Probably Monsanto.
Oh, right.
And there's a evil corporation that makes bioroids, or androids that have taken all of our jobs, and so people are upset about that.
Wait, Monsanto is the big company behind all the fast food chains?
No, Monsanto is a agricultural company that copyrights all of their seeds, and creates a lot of controversy by creating pesticides that are potentially very dangerous, and suing people who just happen to be using their genetically modified seeds.
Oh, isn't that the thing about like how if they grow a crop of corn, and then I remember hearing about this, like there's a farmer who can grow his own corn, but the Monsanto, like the pollen gets in the air or something. If it just so happens their corn in their factory or whatever,
if it happens to
blow
into their field,
the tiny farmer,
that's not their corn,
and then it's no longer their corn.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is depressing.
A lot of good ethical questions. Just like any good science fiction, it addresses real world issues with overblown, over the top storylines.
Yeah, when I like to think about the Netrunner, now I'm only going to think about corn.
Nice.
There's that.
Okay.
All right. How'd you get into Netrunner? And because I played Magic the Gathering, I since stopped because of the whole money issue.
Yeah.
And now I got into this thing called Star Realms, which is a deck builder.
Yep.
I mean,
I play it.
We learned that from last year's Gen Con. Shout out to Gen Con. And the way it is just everyone gets the same set of cards,
right? And
every game is different. It's like Magic, where you.
It's nice that even with the same set of cards, you can have a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm. But how'd you get into it?
I got into it by the wonder of the internet. I've always seen it in top 10 lists on top 10 best games, best 2-player games.
Okay.
And then I read into it a little bit and say, oh, that's really serious and takes a huge commitment. I'm probably never going to get into that. Mm-hmm. But then, coincidentally, I moved to Astoria, Queens. And
shout out to Astoria.
Yeah, for sure. And a few blocks away from my apartment, a new full-line gaming store opened up. Geekery HQ.
Correct. Geekery's been around for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I live a block away from from Chris, and even before that, I was 5 blocks away from Chris. Mm-hmm. I grew up in that area. No type of card gaming place around since when I was in elementary school, and even then, that place didn't have tables for kids to just sit down. Kids and adults alike sit around and just play card games with each other. So,
good
elementary
fit.
School me is super love the store, but now that I'm older and I work,
it's all jealous.
Yeah, now I'm older and I work, I just don't find the time to go there.
It's a great place, and I just happened to be walking by when they were doing a Netrunner demo, and a few players were there with a few teaching decks, and our buddy Luke and I sat down and learned the game.
Oh yeah, shout outs to Luke. He's not here, so.
So as
for a
you
good
said,
reason.
he is the worst.
But he's not here for a good reason. Shout outs to Ian for getting married.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. So all right, so I know you live in Astoria now, but before that, you're not a New York native. Where were you from before?
I'm originally from Massachusetts.
You were a Red Sox fan?
I sure am.
Boy.
It's tough.
And that concludes our episode. I didn't mention this in the first episode, introducing myself, but I love baseball. I've been, like, don't get me wrong, for some reason, I get it, baseball is boring as hell. If someone tells me they don't like baseball, I'm not going to argue that.
It's tough because nothing's really boring if you give enough attention to it.
I mean, it's still kind of boring. It's still kind of boring. But
it's just slow, that's all.
It's really slow.
Listen, it's so slow I don't watch it anymore, but yes.
Yeah, but from Massachusetts, when did you find yourself in Astoria?
You
were in Brooklyn.
It took a while, correct? So I went to college in New York and then grad school in New York City. And right after grad school, I started teaching. So I lived in West Harlem for a couple of years, and then Prospect Heights for 6 years, and then moved to Astoria. And so I've been in Astoria for 3 years.
So it's been over a decade then.
Mm-hmm.
You're here. Yep. And you were teaching for 10 years.
That's right.
Was it always in Queens or?
No, my first teaching gig was in East New York.
So now, for those who don't know, Luke, our mutual friend, also a teacher, and the fourth person that came with us last year, Janati, shout out to Janati, also a teacher. A lot of my friends are teachers in New York City and Brooklyn, Queens, and all that stuff. And every time we're together, they always talk about work, which is, to me, I'm the odd one out. I do e-discovery, really boring data management stuff, but it's one of the most fascinating things to hear because they always talk about I wouldn't even say drama, but just like the things that the background stuff, like things. I mean, we've all been to school. We've all been a student.
Yeah, you can call it drama.
I share drama, but I just find it incredibly fascinating what they about the administration, what the tests that they have to go through, like when other teachers sit in on your class and observe you and things like that. And I just sit there quietly, and most of the time they go, "Oh, sorry," and I was like, "No. Like, I'm actually really enjoying this." So I mean, but you've been doing it for 10 years. Mm-hmm. How you probably love it.
Yeah, no, I love it for sure. This is I made a good career choice.
When did you decide to become a teacher?
It's not a super romantic story, but I was graduating from college. I was a senior, and I was majoring in French and English. And
French,
so
okay.
I asked myself, well, what skills do I have, and what kind of jobs could use those skills to make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, literally nothing. Oh wait. I can teach because I was a camp counselor in high school.
Okay.
I'm decent at explaining things and like
pretty decent.
Talking
we
things
all
out of people.
Runner, so.
That's true. I am shocked that people are still listening. So I thought, hey, this seems like a good fit for me, and so I went straight to grad school, which was, like, in hindsight pretty risky. But then once I stepped into that classroom for the first year, I realized that I'd made a good decision.
That's great. Any proud moments as a teacher? Because I've heard stories of I mean, there's always you always hear stories of kids who always mention, like, the one teacher that they loved, that made them who they are, that made them pursue this major or career and things like that. As any student, I mean, 10 years is a long time.
I have a student, or I had a student named Patrick.
Shout out to Patrick.
I never actually taught, but Patrick is autistic, and he didn't technically go to our school, but we also have students from the neighboring District 75 school, which is for students who are on the autism spectrum mostly. And Patrick was in the video game club, which I help run with our friend Luke. And Patrick, for the 4 years that I knew him, was always really shy and self-conscious.
Okay.
And he would spend a lot of time during video game club coming up to me, and he felt a lot more comfortable with adults and asking me,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, do you think I should bring some games so other people can play
Right.
the games that I like?"
Mm-hmm.
Because Patrick was really into classic 8-bit retro arcade games and Namco collection, all those things. And I was like, "Yeah, Patrick, absolutely, let's do it. Bring it in. We'll set it up as a classic console challenge because we do a weekly contest and see what people think." And not every kid loves those games.
Right.
And so some weeks people wouldn't play the games, and other weeks they would, and they'd actually like them. But Patrick has always been really, nervous about what other people thought, and am I talking too much? Am I too weird?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, no. Here, and so it was a few years of talking with Patrick about like what good conversation looks like, and how to tell if someone's interested in your conversation, and how to change subjects and read the person you're listening to. And over the 4 years, he became so much better and so much more facile at opening up to people and sharing his emotions. And then he graduated last year, and just like a much more fully formed person. He got into his artwork, was able to share that with people and be confident about it instead of just hiding in the corner all the time.
Right.
So that's I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, that's the thing about teachers. You shape the kids' minds, and there's a lot of kids that, especially in New York City, your classrooms are packed. Maybe 3 or 4 periods you teach.
Well, 5.
5 periods. Okay, and
I usually teach 6, but yeah, 5. 5 is the standard.
But yeah, it's. I feel like even then, if I had 5, 6 periods of kids, 30 kids, and then 1 or 2 comes up to me, or you see them, you make that difference. That's got to be a really good feeling.
Yeah, to see them after they graduate too, it's great.
All right, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah, guys, like, think back to the teacher you really loved back in school, and I definitely can remember one. Mr. Buccellato, he taught me calculus and math research and stuff. Like he kind of guess I turned my sister into electrical to electrical engineering, and that's how I got into it too. But I mean, I wasn't very good at it. But I didn't think of it until like, oh yeah, he mentioned that. Let me go check it out. He also introduced me to the card game Set, which Chris is very familiar with. And by familiar, he gets really upset while he plays.
Listen, I just said that a sign of a good game and a good gamer is that you're not mad when you lose. You just have fun either way. But I just lose every time against Lionel. I just can't win.
It's all thanks to Mr. Buccellato. That's the difference you made. Thanks, Mr. Buccellato.
Oh, great. I'll send him a nasty letter.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so fascinating. I love, like I said, just hearing the stories from teachers in terms of administration and just the students they deal with every year, every day, and things like that. It's great and much deserved on your summer vacations. I know my other teacher friends like to do summer school and stuff. Which,
it's tough.
And it's really tough, especially like knowing back then most of the kids who take it are either they don't want to be there.
Yeah, but they really need it. So.
Oh yeah, of course they need it because they either failed out during the regular year and they have to be there. So, but what are the chances that they're gonna try even? But I don't know. I'm sure there's kids who do it voluntarily because they want to just graduate early.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah, man, fascinating. I gotta talk to Luke and more about his stories when Luke and Gennady when it comes to that stuff. So we've been friends for about a year. We first met when we were helping Luke move stuff to his Astoria apartment. Shoutouts to Astoria again, it's the best. But I will say this, I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, we didn't get really close up until we started talking about dating.
True.
This was already a topic from my last episode. He didn't listen to. He's the worst person ever. But yeah, how about? So I'm just gonna put it out there. How is the dating game for you?
The dating game.
Yeah.
Wow. It's great. Dating is great.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but every episode's not going to be about that. But this is what we connected on, and that's how we became closer. So I'm just catching up with a buddy.
Sure. No, dating's great. It's terrible and it's awesome.
Right. It's
I personally feel. Oh, I mean that's fine. I personally feel pretty good about it. Um, as someone who grew up like not dating a lot, I
Mm-hmm.
had my college girlfriend for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So emerging from that relationship and dating for the first time as a 20 something, I thought the internet was a godsend.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
being able to communicate with people online and and chat first and
Mm-hmm.
not be thrust out into this wild environment that is the
Yeah, like go to the
IRL
bar
dating
and just
scene.
be like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah,
I am probably super intoxicated, and so are you. So this will be a good.
I'm sure this will turn out well for both of
Yeah.
us. I don't know. Maybe that's a lack of confidence in my part, but I always felt like I could articulate myself better on the internet, and open the door to
Mm-hmm.
more conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's online dating's been pretty good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So, let's say, I mean, you've been doing it for a while, not to put you on the spot, but you've been on and off,
5-6 years. Yeah.
right? So, to the listeners out there who might be in your situation, or you meet yourself in the street, and the conversation goes to that, what would you? I mean, dating is tough.
Mm-hmm.
People give up.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give yourself to be like, hey, keep going out there, or even what kind of advice would you be like, hey, here's what, keep this in mind, and
Sure.
to help people put themselves out
I would say that online dating and even modern dating in general is a lot different than what we maybe grew up thinking that dating should be or
Mm-hmm.
what dating was,
Mm-hmm.
and that people are so overwhelmed by choice
Yeah.
that you may not have a lot of luck, and you may get people turning you down for literally the smallest reason, right,
Yeah.
or any reason at all.
Very
And
familiar.
I guess my, you know what, his toes had a weird shape.
Not
They were
even
just
that.
weird shaped.
It's just like, oh, you're a Red Sox fan?
I get that all the time.
I don't care for that.
And so and that's ostensibly a bad thing,
Mhm.
but if you keep in mind that a lot of these things aren't personal,
Mhm.
it doesn't sting as bad, because people are looking for different things. Sometimes they're, and since there's so much out there, they may just keep searching for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally could be any reason, and it's not worth beating yourself up over figuring out what went wrong and doing like a
Right.
post-mortem on every relationship, which
Sure.
I hear a lot of people doing.
That will mess you up.
Yeah, it's not worth it, because a good relationship is one that is not that complicated.
Mhm.
So if one of those little insignificant things is throwing it off and makes it end, then it probably wasn't that great of a relationship to begin with.
Mhm.
So just to kind of keep your head up and understand that a lot of these things, they aren't not working because of a personal level. They're not working because of the vast and sometimes overwhelming amount of choice we have.
Yeah, and very well put. Seems very laid back, as if you've been doing this for a long time.
See, listen, it's a defense mechanism. I have to tell myself it's totally fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's
No,
fine.
of course, dating is also terrible,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it feels like, one of the most interesting things that's terrible about it for me is not what you might expect. It's the feeling of judging people all the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like using Tinder and
Oh,
Bumble,
sure.
and I'm just like,
When you're literally
Oh.
swiping on someone that you've looked at for
Yeah.
3 seconds and
Yeah.
you're like, no.
yeah,
And a big,
and-
literally the word nope comes up on the
Right.
screen. And you're just like, wow, that's not how I feel about
Yeah.
this human being.
even the
But-
app is like, yo, dude, dude, for real? Yeah, you just said nope, dude. Yeah, try sleeping tonight.
Oh, I
Oh,
just
boy.
said nope to 10 people in a row. Am I some kind of a monster? But yeah, so that's it's a gross feeling. But
Well, if that comes into mind, remember they're swiping nope too.
sure,
so.
yeah, they must be. Yeah, but that's why that's why I kind of gravitate towards sites that give you a little larger
Mhm.
perspective on a person's life.
Mhm.
Not to say that I don't judge a person by a picture all the time, because
Yeah.
I do for sure.
Sure.
But it's nice to be able to see, all the details
Yeah.
instead of just
Well.
judging someone's face.
It's just like life, man. You learn as you go.
Yeah.
But oh man, all right. So what time is it right now? It is 11:30. I have to get up early tomorrow morning. But let's see, what's the time right now? And the segment of the grab bag the random questions here.
Oh, that's exciting. That's a great rustling sound.
Oh, it's a good rustle. It's a real good rustle. I love rustling. All right, so I'm gonna ask you to stick your hand in there, and we'll both answer it together
at the same time.
Okay, yeah, we'll both
just
talk over each other.
Yeah,
yeah, that's how it works. But you get to read the thing.
It's good radio.
All right.
Here's
what does it say?
How does drinking affect gameplay? Ooh, pertinent question.
I know who sent it in too. Shout out to Gennady again.
So I assume Gennadi's talking about board games?
Yes, he is, because we played Dungeons and Dragons together, and the GMs we play with strictly have a rule that says don't drink.
No alcohol. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's good. I think generally it's a.
Actually, you know what? Let's just do any type of games.
Okay.
All right, go.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Because a lot of the reasons people play board games nowadays is to get the social interaction that you used to have when you were playing Contra with your friend on the couch, right? So drinking helps with that. Drinking loosens you up. It makes you a little more relaxed. Makes you a little more prone to punch someone when they do something well.
Shout outs to punching.
Yeah, but there's also the downside of, this heavier the game, like the more strategic the game, the more it stunts your decision making and your ability to play a solid game. And so you got to find that happy middle ground of games that allow you a little bit of goofing off.
Yeah.
If it's going to be helpful at all. But if I'm going to play Twilight Struggle I'm not gonna drink a 6-pack.
So on that note, I do believe there is if you drink just enough, there is a Zen level where you are killing it.
Sure.
You are focused.
Well, especially in games that require bluffing or deception.
I'm thinking video games. So the fighting games. I mean, I'm not the best fighting game guy.
That's a different aspect of alcohol because alcohol is considered a performance-enhancing drug in certain sports.
Okay.
In I think riflery or something.
Okay.
Or
so
archery.
Next time I go to the gun range, I'll for sure crush it.
Because it dulls your nerves a little bit, so you're not shaking as much.
Oh no, I get the shakes when I drink.
Well, that's a sign of alcoholism, and I'm sorry. You should
okay. I should
look into that.
Well, learning a little bit myself.
No, I think it's for the right game and for the right people, it could be fun.
I mean, we played Tetris at the bar after the events, and I was in the I was Zen. Actually, no, I wasn't. So back to the Zen level. When you reach that point, if you just drink a little bit more, then it just goes way down again, and you lose it. But yeah, I mean, some of the growing up. I mean, in Stony Brook when we played Super Smash.
Yep.
Super Smash Brothers Melee, with buddies in my dorm room, where, throw some back, play Smash, throw some back, be really good at it, throw back another one, and then we're just trash. And but that's video games. When it comes to board gaming, I understand. The GM's perspective, where it's just you might start getting.
I'm not sure why Dungeons and Dragons would be a terribly bad game to drink during, because it's more about your thought process and storytelling.
But that's the thing. It's the thought process of taking your turn. So if you're getting a little impaired, you might take longer to think about what you want to do. In terms of video games, it's fast twitch. You're responding right away. I'm going to do it right away. Like you said, it dulls your nerves, so you're just thinking. You're not second guessing yourself, so you're going. But in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, you wait your turn, so you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking.
I have sober friends who take forever during a turn as well. Paralysis by analysis.
So I guess maybe that's just our group.
Shout out to # paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, shout out to them. Did I meet them at your birthday?
You did.
Yeah, but shout out to them. I'm sure you guys are cool. But I was saying the group we played with, D&D, we took a long time sober. So now add drinking to it. We're going to be there for hours. Man. But like I said, I understand why some GMs would be super against it. Unless he's building it for funsies and just,
I've only played Dungeons and Dragons as an RPG, a tabletop RPG. I'm sure there are RPGs that are a little looser in structure and mechanics.
And a third, that we're talking about board gaming and video gaming, I'll throw one more aspect of another gameplay, actual sports, like playing basketball and baseball. I've tried it under the influence, even after one, and it
No,
was
thanks.
a nightmare. An
Yeah, the
actual
physical stuff.
nightmare.
Physical stuff doesn't work.
I turn red when I drink,
Mm-hmm.
so it's harder for me to breathe. I think I tried playing basketball once at a barbecue after like one drink, and I was like, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah, it's a liquid that literally kills you, so
Yeah.
we should use it in moderation.
Nah, well, we're still gonna drink tomorrow.
That's well, you're right.
Yeah. They might be Giants tomorrow
Yeah.
at 8 on
Oh,
Thursday.
can't wait.
I know. I never heard of them before. I know the band name. I just never heard their stuff. But you were telling me good things about them. I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah, all-time classic pop band.
All right. It's late. We talked for a good amount of time, and I think we're gonna call it for tonight. We have to rest up and get up early tomorrow morning. You know how it is, Gen Con.
Late nights, early mornings,
Yeah, hungover mornings.
sometimes.
All right. And that's our show for today.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Thanks, Lionel.
To listeners at home, until next time,
See ya.
peace out.